Welcome to my shop. This is Jim, Saw Logs Plastic Hubs. Hope you enjoyed today's video. We're working on a project. Come along, have fun. What does Mr. Harold, Redneck Workshop man says before all projects start? Well, there it is. Today is another simple project. As the old saying, as I've said several times, one project makes another project. Well, one of the things I've run into and discovered here is with my plate and my tools, I was just going to use standard bolts. That means if I want to set this up, I got to walk over and get a wrench. Hello. I'm going to throw this in. The video where I made this, I've got several comments from subscribers and friends about these edges on this and being hitting it or something like that. Well, I did come back today and put a little more round on it just because after I looked at it, it's sort of a neat, it wouldn't be a bad deal. Let me, excuse me, I brought you the wrong way. Let me bring you back a minute though. One of the things is, that's the space between my mill and my lathe, and that's where the mill is on about mid-travel. So, what that should tell you is, for me to get to that grinder or to get back here behind on the mill, the lathe, I've got to be careful and pay attention. So it's not like that you're going to be running around this corner at a pretty high rate clip. This is fairly sharp anyway. So I went ahead and rounded it off, and I'm thinking that's going to be sufficient. And again, because I have this here and all this, I don't think that it's going to be as big a deal as it looks, but you know, sometimes people give you an idea and make you think. So let's get back to the project at hand. Alright, what I'm doing is I got this piece of steel out of my scrap bin, and it's a piece of cold roll of some sort, and I'm going to tell you it's bent. So all I need is I want this to be about 3/4 of 750,000, and this is an inch rod. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and chew up a piece of it. And see what I get once I chew it up. So I can see if I can get something out of it. So I'm just taking a few cuts here to clean it up. So this is what the way I'm going to make these thumb screws is the same way Mr. P or somebody else, so you've seen lots of videos. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn, I'm just going to turn the thumb screw, turn it down and knurl it and drill and tap it. And then we'll install a 1/4 20 piece of threaded rod, Loctite it. Okay, we've come up with a turned solution here. Basically, this is 3/4 now. So we're going to center drill this thing out. I'm going to turn this light back kind of out of the way for us today. I don't hardly ever use it. We'll set up. I did a lot of Facebook videos. I do some occasionally while I'm out here in the shop. You might have seen them on Facebook if you're following me on Facebook or such. And one of the persons made a comment about this extra handle about overdoing the design of the machine. Well, like I explained to him, I'm not going to torque the hell out of it. We're just going to we're just going to use it like we're going to use it just like I did, just roll it up there, pop it. And you'll notice I just, if you can see, I don't know if you can, because I think I've just got the face more or less focused on the drilling and tapping action here. I'm drilling this really deep. We're going to knurl this when I finish. This will be done like so many things you've seen I've done before. We're just going to turn it out, knurl it, and tap it. I'm going to try something different today. I am going to power tap. But I'm going to use my older chuck that come from Papa Grizzly. It's not as good a chuck as obviously as a Jacobs. And, well, I forgot to do this. Put a nice chamfer on it. Use the new chamfer tools. Let's shoot a little oil up in there. Plenty of cutting oil. As I drill this, I can go fairly deep with my tap, so. Alright, then I'll come back and re-tap this and drill it as needed. That way I don't want to risk breaking a tap. Okay. Now I'm going to set up the knurl list and we'll get that knocked out right here quickly. Okay, we're running the knurl right now, and I went ahead and started it off camera, so we're knurling. See how these knurls look. I can't really get a good look at them. They need to be a little deeper, I think. I'm going to come back and get these a little deeper. These knurling tools will tend to walk on you too, so what we're doing here is trying to kind of get them. I'll need to oil them a little more, but I want to kind of let the oil flush out so I can see what kind of, yeah, I need to get a little more out to the end here to see if I can get this diamond to come up on the end. Like it's pretty good except right there on the end. Usually get close to the end, it'll walk itself right out there and then it'll fix it. Just like that. Got to be careful not to pull it off the end, but see, these tools will tend to do this. Walk back and forth. So you know, I consider knurling more of an art than a science. And it obviously a pretty tough material like cold roll, or not a tougher. You know, you're raising material up, especially on this cold rolled steel. And I've tried to make multiple passes, and I've tried to cut it all at one shot. And I've got about the same results both ways. So what we want to do here, I'm trying to do this in the one-shot method, see if I because it's steel and not having to make multiple passes. And I've seen people use feed down the machine, and I've never managed to make that one work. I prefer to feed it and look at it, squirt a little oil on the knurls. I tend to use a fairly fine knurl, and that's what's in this knurling. See, like I say, the plan here is to cut this off like bologna. So and we'll probably come back and turn more and more and more and make more of them. So I want these things probably about 3/4 of an inch thick. So, and I need 5 of them. About as close as I can get right there. From what I was seeing a minute ago, and I'm going to go ahead and just while it's running, top it off and see what I got. Oh yeah, I got a really pretty pattern all the way. Right here in the edges, and it's always as pretty. But up in the middle it looks really, really good, so I think I'll live with that. Now let's make some bologna. Alright, each one of these is going to be a 1/4 inch thick. I done faced the first one off. I'm going to cut the first one off. And we'll just have to start the machine up. Running 220 RPMs. Knock the bar off. Already got myself locked here. I'm going to start this by hand. I got a little run out. Give me a little bit of depth so I can file the back corner. I'm leaving the burrs in it on the back, because what we're going to do Pete makes a lot of thumb screws. He talks about them in his videos. I'm just letting them fall right down here. I got a flat spot, so it's not going all the way down to the chip pan. And so it'll be good. Plenty of oil on the end tool. It's one of them. Believe it or not, it's one of them little Bang Good inserts and tool holders. So that's what we've got right there, folks. I'm going to finish cutting these off. I need 5 of them. I may have to thread some here in a minute. Okay, what I'm doing is, you'll see laying on my caliper box is my studs finished. And so what I'm looking for is, I know this is a 1/4 inch thick. These are usually about 1 inch. So these are measured out. So if I go 1 inch, let me just do it, look at this way. Sometimes it's easier for me to visualize. So I cut them 1 inch, I still got a half. I could cut these around a half and I'll still be good. So, well, this is just going to go down in there, so let's cut them 3/4. We'll just mark it 3/4 and take the old limits here and deal with it. what I'm going to do is, this is just a piece of all thread rod, comes from the hardware. This one actually comes from an Ace hardware here, not in town. We don't have an Ace in town. It's over next town, over in Cherryville, North Carolina, or as we call it here in North Carolina, Cherryville. I go by through Cherryville a lot. My mother's at a nursing facility in Shelby, North Carolina, and from where we live, you basically drive in through the backside of it. So what we're doing is I'm cutting these off. Now these two here, I'm leaving one raw edge because I'll round them in a minute. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'll just turn this kind of around over here. See if you can see where I'm going. I'll kind of just leave the camera running a second. And over to the Delta belt sander. I think you can see it. I'm not going to get detailed on you. Round it off, cut two more, do the same thing. Sort of the rinse and repeat method as you hear so much of. I did forget to mention something while I was at it. You know, this is my little vise that I made the soft jaws for in a video or so, a couple of videos back. If you haven't seen the video where I made the soft jaws for my vise, and it's kind of what this is. These aluminum, you notice they got a V in them and stuff, so it's really good for things like this, and I do a lot of it. It's the main reason I made it. I mean, I can actually stick one up straight ways the way that vise is made, and I think you've seen me use that. That's a fairly cheap vise, I mean inexpensive vise. I bought it at a state auction for a fairly reasonable price, and so, you know, I got a Wilkerson Workshop vise over here in my little arbor press. On to the next step. Now, again, if you've seen any of my videos, this is going to be the bench work. I've kind of got the camera turned around so I can just see where you can see my hands here. If you've seen any of my videos of any type, there's sweeper, get it. So this is 648. I know you've seen some 600 stuff which is green. This is just for a little larger. This is a different retaining compound. Sometimes the difference in these, some of the Loctites, even in the greens, reds, or whatever, is the size that the size bolt range that Loctite recommends. The 648 tends to carry a lot larger size, but basically the same stuff. So, you know, green is the kind it's really made for mounting bearings. And I learned about green Loctite, and the green Loctite's been around a long time. And I learned about green Loctite when I first started working in a machine shop, way before Mr. Eaton come along. So what I'm doing here is just taking a little dab of green, and I'm setting these screws. Let me kind of pull back because I got this thing jacked up. You see me working on the bench. And I put a little bit in a container where I could use that cute long Q-tip. And them long Q-tips are come from the madam's work. They here comes the roofer, so I need to get out of this. So have a great day. You're gonna have to excuse this is handheld from the deck. So we're gonna. You was listening to me video a while back. I'm gonna just throw this in with a thumb screw. The roof on my shop building was in bad shape. There's around the edges of it especially. So we contracted local roofers today, a roofing company, to come in and roof the building, which they have the shop, so which has happened. I will be painting the shop here shortly. But now I have a brand new roof, and the roof actually matches our home now, which is going to be a plus. Now once I get the siding painting and all the eaves, I'm not going to box it or anything like that, but we're going to at least paint everything up, make it look fresh. So that's kind of on the next thing on the agenda, folks. So kind of look forward to seeing that as we go along and work on it. There's going to be some outside cleanup to go along with it. So and you can see from my back deck, my little storage rack is right there too. So, but the roofers off, they come here about 10 this morning and left about 2 o'clock. Got that my 14 by 20 shop done that quick. I mean, I was given an estimate, and the gentleman told me the worst case, and so while they was at it, the biggest problem was the edges of the wood, the edges along the eaves of the roof. So we decided, the roofers, I decided, instead of replacing part of the wood, we just get it all. So all the sheeting under the shingles now is brand new. So that'll last till I go take a dirt nap, as Mr. Pete says. So we'll let the kids worry about that crap. Have a good one. Hey, Mr. Bozo paid a visit. I done these yesterday, and I think you were seeing me glue these up with Loctite. And you heard me say something about the roofers. You know, we were putting a new roof on the shop. The shop was not, the roof was as bad, needed replacing it. Kind of around the edges of the drip lines, it's got out of place. Well, I was thinking that I needed to make all 4 of my screws the same thickness. Well, gotta say, Mr. Bozo struck. The ones that's will go into the tapping machine, this is to hold up stuff like that now, need to be longer. So I Loctited them yesterday, and you know, I use green. Green won't remove but under one sway, so we just got to heat them up, break them on. Not a big deal. I just got to cut some more rod and fix it. But it's a bit frustrating that you realize, because I was wanting to face all these off this morning. So now I need to get these done and locked before I burn my darn saw up. There we go. That's old go-kart gloves I used to drive go-karts in. I actually got welding gloves, but it was just easier to get to. Alright, let's cut some more and glue them. One of the things I wanted to mention, I mean, I'm not showing cutting a screw, but one of the handiest things I've ever done in my shop, because I do, and a lot of people probably do the same thing. I use threaded rod. I told you the other day about getting those screws. So a lot of times I get stuff and screws in. Before I fix these chuck jaws, I just freehanded these things with one of them Harbor Freight abrasive saws. But the truth of it is, it takes so long to get the saw. By the time you get that and put this up, I can hang that up on the wall. These aluminum jaws that I made for this, and the way I made them, has been the handiest little addition right here in my shop of anything I've done. It really works good. It's really handy, especially for work like this, and you just can't beat it. Put on my ER32 collet chuck. The last step in making these thumb screws. Now you can do this other ways. This is the way I like to use them. And more or less you just, that's why I didn't even take the bars off the back, because I wanted my Loctite to set up, and we're just going to come right out here. and lightly touch the face, lock the carriage, and gauge the feed rate. And we're just going to skim down this and blend it right together. So, you know, I got a pretty darn good little face right there. It's a real simple way of doing it. And I know you've seen other people make these. I know Mr. Pete's made some online. I probably have myself, but let's see now. I've got a thumb screw. Now this is one of the older, shorter ones. And I'll get this other short one and I'll show you why I wanted them for. In case you didn't figure it out yet. Now, give me a chance there. So, now like I say, I made this rig up. And I really like it on my Grizzly. And if you're interested in doing one yourself, there's several creators actually went in and made it to fit on their machine. So what I did is bought a back plate, picked this up off of eBay, of sellers that sell these. And then I had to make this little aluminum plate to fit all of it on. I could have probably made my own back plate, and that's one of the things you could have done. And if I'd ever do another one, I probably would make my own black plate. Whoa! Didn't tighten it up tight enough. But the collet will not spin the screws too bad. And see, this is why I done this, so basically I could take my burrs off. That's why I didn't take the burrs off after I turned the tools down, because I could just knowing I'm going to run the screw in it, and I'm going to come back and so knowing that I was going to do this, it would just make my life simpler to do it this way. I mean, that's got a little run out, but again, these are screws. Alright, let me see. Madam's probably telling me she's at the doctor or work. Okay, that's what we wanted them for, and that's for the swag saw. And if you'll notice on my swag, I'll never put 2 bolts, and the only reason for this is just to keep it from moving. So that's what this is going to do here. And then we'll just basically have us a place to keep them there with the push stick and whatnot. So that's good for us. So we'll kind of work from there and see what we got. Thinking about another project right here. This is kind of making me one right here, I'm thinking. Alright, so guys, I just wanted you to see that. I'm going to knock the other 2 off the camera. And as I say, sometimes you start one project, then you'll discover you need better improvements. And what this, you know, basically started out, we wanted, let me kind of move back a little bit and I'll just do something different. Hang loose. Good day. Here we go. I hope you enjoyed this little project we done today. One of the things I started to say, and I kind of just beat around the bush, is anytime, seems like with me, I start one idea, like I wanted the portaband, and I've really used it since I've had it. Then I run into another idea, hey, I need to put the plate. Then I run into the third idea, man, them bolts is a lot of trouble. I got to go hunt a wrench. So, you know, I made a video a while back, said projects tend to make projects. You know, I think what it is we think of ideas, but then we don't go back and follow through on all the little nuts and bolts and all the things we want. So, these thumb screws are going to be a great addition for these tools because That way my tools is right here and handy. So I just see myself another project here. So we're going to work on it today too. I always finding something different.